Back in 2021, Google changed the game with the Pixel 6. It was bold, unique, and it brought us Google's first ever Tensor chip. Fast forward to 2025, foldables are everywhere, charging speeds are insanely fast, and AI is part of every phone. But where does the Pixel 6 stand today? This is not just another quick review, this is an honest, detailed breakdown of whether the Pixel 6 is still worth using, buying, or even remembering in 2025. So sit tight, because we're going to cover everything: design, performance, software, cameras, battery, updates, and of course, my personal verdict. Let's rewind a bit. When you first unboxed the Pixel 6 back in 2021, the box was slim, no charging brick, just the USB-C cable. At that time, it was becoming the new normal. The phone itself, heavy, glossy, and eye-catching. Fast forward to now. If you pick it up, it still feels premium. That dual-tone finish and the big camera bar across the back, you either love it or hate it. Personally, I liked it because it stood out. While other brands went with boring vertical camera modules, Google made a bold choice. The downside: that glossy back is a fingerprint magnet, and the phone is slippery without a case. Also, at 207 grams, it's not the lightest. If you're coming from a slim modern phone, it will feel chunky in the hand. But in terms of design uniqueness, the Pixel 6 still holds up in 2025. The display on the Pixel 6 was a 6.4-inch OLED with Full HD Plus resolution and a 90Hz refresh rate. In 2021, that was great. In 2025, still good, but not flagship level. Let's be real, now we have 120Hz and even 144Hz panels on mid-range phones. But the Pixel's OLED quality still delivers sharp colors, deep blacks, and good brightness outdoors. Watching YouTube, Netflix, or scrolling through Instagram still feels smooth. 90Hz may sound less impressive today, but for most users, it's fine. Unless you're coming from a 120Hz or 144Hz phone, you won't notice much difference. The bezels, though, are slightly thicker than modern phones. You'll notice that if you place it side by side with something like the Pixel 8 Pro or a Samsung S24. Now, let's talk performance. The Pixel 6 was the first phone with Google's custom Tensor chip. At launch, it wasn't about raw power, it was about AI, machine learning, and smart features. Even today, for daily tasks, messaging, browsing, video playback, photography, it still holds up. Animations are smooth, apps open quickly, and multitasking is fine. But if you're into gaming, that's where the cracks show. Heavy games like PUBG Mobile, Genshin Impact, or Call of Duty Mobile do run, but you'll see heating and frame drops if you push it too long. Compared to modern Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 or Dimensity chips, the Tensor feels outdated. But here's the key: this phone was never meant for hardcore gamers. It was built for Google's AI features, things like voice dictation, live translate, photo editing, and smart calling. And those still work beautifully today. Now let's get to the Pixel's strongest point: the cameras. The Pixel 6 came with a 50 megapixels main sensor and a 12 megapixels ultra-wide. Even in 2025, this camera can go toe-to-toe with mid-range and even some flagship phones. Daytime shots are sharp, detailed, and natural-looking. Google's color science is on point. Unlike Samsung, which often boosts saturation, or iPhones that lean warm, Pixels give you realistic photos. Low-light photography, this is where it shines. Night sight still makes night photos look incredible. You can literally take a shot in almost pitch-black conditions and still get a usable picture. Portrait mode, clean subject separation, beautiful blur. Selfies, good, though not the best, sometimes too contrasty. Google also introduced Magic Eraser and Face Unblur, and those AI features are still useful today. Want to remove a random stranger from your photo? Done. Took a slightly blurry shot of your kid? Fixed. Now, the downside. Video. Pixel 6 improved compared to older Pixels, but it's still not iPhone level. Stabilization is good, yes. But dynamic range and low light video, weak compared to Apple or Samsung's flagships in 2025. If you want a content creator phone, Pixel 6 is good for photos but not the best for video. The Pixel 6 came with a 4614 mAh battery. At launch, it was decent. In 2025, depending on battery health, you might notice faster drain. For casual users, social media, YouTube, messaging, it lasts a day. For heavy users, gaming, 5G, constant camera use, you'll need to recharge before evening. Charging, here's the problem. It supports up to 30W wired charging, but in reality, it's closer to 20 to 23W speeds. That means it takes more than an hour and a half to fully charge, way behind modern phones that can charge in under 30 minutes. Wireless charging is there, but also slow compared to today's standards. So yes, battery life is average. Not terrible, not amazing. But not for power users. This is the Pixel's secret weapon. Software. You get stock Android with Google's own flavor. Clean, smooth, no bloatware. In 2025, the Pixel 6 is running Android 14 and still receiving updates. Google promised 5 years of security patches, which means support is still there, but the end is near. After 2026, don't expect major updates. Features like Material You, which customizes your phone's theme based on your wallpaper, still feel fresh. AI features like Live Translate, call screening, and the Recorder app with transcription, still some of the best in the industry. But here's the reality, with each update, the Tensor chip struggles a little more. Not badly, but you can feel it. So while the experience is still good today, long term, the Pixel 6 is near the end of its software life. Let's be honest, the Pixel 6 had some issues at launch. The in-display fingerprint scanner, slow, connectivity drops, annoying. Over time, software updates fixed most problems, but the fingerprint scanner is still not as fast as modern ultrasonic ones. Speakers, stereo, good quality, decent loudness. Not the loudest, but enjoyable for videos and music. 5G, works fine. Wi-Fi is strong. Bluetooth is stable. Nothing major to complain about in 2025, but not cutting edge either. Now, let's compare. If you're looking at a used Pixel 6 in 2025, you might also be considering mid-range phones like the Pixel 7a, Pixel 8a, or Samsung A series. The Pixel 6 still has better build quality than most mid-range phones. The camera is still one of the best in its price bracket. But battery, charging, and gaming performance, you'll get better with newer mid-ranges. So, it really depends. Do you want software plus camera, or do you want battery plus performance? Pros, still one of the best cameras for photos. Premium design, unique look. Clean Google software experience. AI features that still feel futuristic. Good display with OLED quality. Cons, battery life is average. Charging is slow in 2025 standards. Gaming performance isn't the best. Fingerprint scanner is slow. Video recording lags behind So here's my honest take. The Google Pixel 6 in 2025 is a phone with character. It may not be perfect, but it's still very usable. If you can find it cheap, it's a fantastic option for someone who cares about photos, software, and design. But if you're someone who needs the best battery, fastest charging, or top-tier gaming, this is not for you. In a way, the Pixel 6 was a starting point, Google's first Tensor phone, the beginning of a bold design era. And for that, it deserves respect. Still iconic, still reliable, but also, showing its age. Would I personally daily drive it in 2025? Only as a secondary phone, or if I'm on a tight budget. Otherwise, I'd look at a newer Pixel. But why? And that's my honest, unfiltered review of the Google Pixel 6 in 2025. What do you think? Is this still a phone you'd consider, or do you think its time is over? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth reviews like this one.